Choctaw, Oklahoma is a town of around 13,000 people, and it's super popular with people who relocate here. One of the reasons is its proximity to Tinker Air Force Base. Because the proximity to Tinker Air Force Base, we have a lot of people moving in to Choctaw, and it used to be a much smaller town. But because of how close it is to Tinker, people want to move here, new houses are being built, and a lot of them are on like an acre, maybe 2 acres. So we want to show you around today what Choctaw looks like and what it could mean for you to live here. So me and my husband, Handsome, are driving you around, and I'm gonna just show you real quick. Here's Handsome. You'll hear him jumping in from time to time, but mostly it's going to be me talking to you. So let's go. Okay, here we go. So we're on the interstate. Don't worry, the sun's going to go away here in a second. We are shooting in the morning, so that east sun is bright, but I made this video our little route so that, we wouldn't be driving into the sun very much. We're about to start heading north, but I wanted to show you where we're about to get off the interstate. So right now we're on I-40 and we're getting off at Choctaw Road, which is one of the main exits, of course, into Choctaw. And right here at this exit, pretty close to it, is going to be our first neighborhood we're going to drive into. But also at this exit, we have 2 giant gas stations, a Wendy's, this one's an E-Express. The one here on my right that you're kind of seeing, just wait for that sign. I know it's going to go away. I promise. And then the one on my left is a Love's, which is very Oklahoman. We have Love's everywhere. So we're about to turn left here. Oh, already the sun's better. So you notice the grass is quite brown. So it's winter. It's actually December right now. So on my left is going to be that Love's. I thought, maybe I should wait and show them Choctaw when it's beautiful and green, but you know what? You need to see what it looks like in all seasons. So that's why we're doing this today. And then on the left is also the RV. So it's a COA RV park. So like I said, we just came off the interstate. The way that it works, we drove in from I-35. And when you do that, you have 2 options, depending on where you are in Oklahoma City. You can go on I-40, which of course goes across the entire U.S., or you can go on I-240, which is the bypass, and it goes a little bit further south. So we came in on I-240, but of course they do merge at one point. Here's another piece of that COA RV park. So we're about to turn right on 59th. Because of course we're coming off of Choctaw Road. For the most part, we're going to be heading south to north, but zigzagging a lot to show you all these different areas. This first neighborhood we're going to go into is Asheville. It's a really, really popular neighborhood. I think I have maybe just one client who lives in here right now. There's a lot of houses in here. They started building, they started building in 2011. That's right. And it is a 1-builder neighborhood. So only 1 builder has built anything in here. This neighborhood has an HOA, but don't worry. I will show you other neighborhoods without them. So it does have a pool. It was just right there on my left. And then these homes are going to be on typically 0.75 acre. So they have quite a bit of space on them. And this is a kind of a hilly neighborhood, so some of the yards are a bit interesting. This neighborhood has like a pond for fishing. It does have a little dog park, which is kind of interesting to me. And of course, these homes, I think the minimum is 2,500 square feet. So it's going to be a pretty typical neighborhood, even though like a lot of neighborhoods aren't necessarily one builder. The one builder thing, it really creates a very cohesive neighborhood vibe, and that may not be for everyone. And it isn't always. Like I show a lot of homes in here, and people often go with a different neighborhood. Sometimes because of that, sometimes because of the HOA. One of the reasons this neighborhood is so popular is because it's super close to the interstate, but you can't hear it. So you can easily get to your job, which is usually at Tinker Air Force Base or possibly at Boeing. Other places too, but those are two really big employers here. The road is windy, which is awesome for keeping everyone from going too fast when kids are out playing. All of these homes are going to have a 3-car garage. That one actually has a 4-car here on the corner. And I think if you have an RV, and I'd have to check on this, if you have an RV in this neighborhood, you would have to park it behind the fence. And of course, shops are allowed. Full metal shops are allowed. So you don't have to put brick on them. So that keeps that cost down. Yep, there's another 4-car garage in here. So like I said, this is Asheville. We'll try to show you on the map periodically where we are, so that way you kind of have an idea. So like some of these homes are pretty far. I won't say they're in a hole, because they're not in a hole, because like behind them is more like a hill. But your front yard sometimes is pretty steep, which is another reason why I've had people decide not to live here. But I've had people decide to live here because of close to the interstate and like the pool, and also the fishing ponds and things like that, without you having to have so many acres. Some of these driveways are also very steep. You won't find this in every neighborhood, but it does happen. Oop, there's that sun again. Most of these homes, almost every neighborhood is mostly going to be one story. A lot of times here in Oklahoma, you're going to find ones that are one story with like a bonus room upstairs. And then the bigger homes, like they may have 2 bedrooms upstairs, maybe 1. It really depends. And of course, if there's a bathroom upstairs, that becomes a little bit more expensive than if there's not. Cool. It was a great drive-through. So we're leaving Asheville now. We're going to head to our next neighborhood. So we're going to turn right on Choctaw Road. Choctaw Road to get out of here. Basically, we entered on 59th and went all the way through the neighborhood back to Choctaw Road. So I absolutely do not have time to show you every single neighborhood in Choctaw, but we're going to show you quite a few. So one thing you'll notice too, as we're driving, well, a couple of things I want to point out to you that people have said to me. First of all, I'm a real estate agent, so I'm showing you neighborhoods, and like Choctaw is a town, but it's like people don't typically work in the town of Choctaw. Like you're working other places, so it's a little bit more of a sleeper community. So that's what's happening on this video. Just beware. I've got to show you these spots because people like living here. Another thing with this area is like, yes, there are neighborhoods, but there's also homes and homes that are just not in neighborhoods, just off the main street. Like, this is a main road in Choctaw. And honestly, some of the roads, they're not great. This one is pretty decent. This is Choctaw Road, like we said. They redid that part of it whenever we came off the interstate. But this town is growing fast, so sometimes they can't keep up with the infrastructure. So here at this corner is the Dollar General, of course. There's tons of these things all around. The Phillips. We're at 29th and Choctaw Road. And we're turning right. You see the road crew here marking the lines on the road. Another thing that people have asked me about in the past is our power lines, and you're going to see them along every single road. Our power lines are not buried on the road. They're buried in the neighborhoods if they're new-ish, meaning like basically 1980 and like newer. But we don't bury our power lines here on the roads. I wish I could explain why, but I mean, I kind of know why, but it's just not how it is here. So they are up above. Okay, we're still in 29. We're heading to our next little spot. This next neighborhood we're coming out to is nothing like the last neighborhood here in Asheville. It's much smaller, older, etc. There's lots of little houses off the main street here. So we're turning left onto Wiley right now. These houses are going to be much smaller, all built at different times. Like in front of me, looks like there's some goats in the neighborhood. Yes. Some of these houses have been redone. Some of them are going to be from like 1990. There's a barn dominium on my left. All different sorts of things. All these people have, it looks like, I mean, on my left here, maybe a little less than a half an acre, but most everyone has at least an acre in here. People have their RVs parked. They have, like, this person has 2 barns, a shed. Sorry, I know you can see part of my car there. So it's truly like a little country-ish neighborhood we're rolling through right here. There's a house that was built in the 90s on my left and a almost brand new house on my right. The 60s style house on my left. Like, there are technically restrictions, but they're not very many of them. So what would have happened here is, like, a lot of people built homes maybe in the 60s, 70s, 80s, but then, like, there were still lots left. As late as, like, now, I can still see some empty ones, and people will build brand new homes. These sorts of homes are really popular. A lot of times these neighbors are very close to one another because they tend to stay in their homes for quite some time. So they have big front yards, but they also have big backyards. And like this person on my right, they have a screened-in porch on the front. And then a garage. This person on my left has horses. So I just wanted to show you what these sorts of neighborhoods look like. Now, of course, like, is it harder to find homes in neighborhoods like this? Yeah, kind of, because like they're not all going to be the same, right? But it is possible. And this is a very typical sort of like organic neighborhood here in Choctaw.
There's the horse.
Yep, a horse. 2 of them in there. And yeah, neighborhoods like this, you can have, of course, animals. We saw goats, we saw horses. Sometimes there's restrictions on pigs, just FYI. Usually you can have chickens, of course, guineas, things like that. We're headed to our next neighborhood, and we're on Triple X Road. Now, I looked up what Triple X means at one point. Doesn't sound terrible, right? I mean, or interesting. And I can't remember for the life of me what it means. If you know, drop that in the comments for me. It's a hysterical name, for sure. No one thinks twice about it once you live here. So we're turning left now on Reno to get to Rose Rock, which is our next neighborhood. This one is going to have a bit of an HOA. You'll notice there's not a lot of stoplights. We have a lot of stop signs in this area. Along with, of course, regular, structure homes that are technically stick-built. We do have mostly stick-built homes here. Like, you'll see things listed as brick, but they're not built out of brick. They're built from sticks, meaning wood. So here we're going to Stonegate Crossing, which is Rose Rock in my brain. So this is a multiple builder neighborhood. These are going to be a little bit older, back into the 90s. And been in quite a few homes in this neighborhood. Like, there's a house with a 5-car garage over there, plus a shop. Most of them are going to have 3 cars. Most of them are going to be on more than an acre as well in this neighborhood. Try to keep the sun out of your eyes here. And you'll notice a lot of people don't have fences. This is common in these types of neighborhoods. People will put up those like invisible fences for their dogs. But we also see some really nice wrought iron fences. You're going to have a lot of pools in this neighborhood. And of course, if you have a pool, it's best if you have a fence. It'll help with your insurance. Kind of like organic feeling. There's a house with a pool. There's a 2-story here on my left. A bunch of these are 2-story. And like I said, almost every single primary, like the primary bedroom, is going to be on the ground floor. It is really uncommon for them to be on the second floor. It's like this house on my right, they have a detached garage and an attached 4-car garage. I feel like right now these homes are probably starting at around 500, and that's for the smaller ones. But of course, I'm not giving you a lot of prices in this video because like that's going to change. And yeah, so I have a link in the description. I'm going to put it up here up top as well. And that link is going to be for homes that are currently for sale in Choctaw. Actually, I'll put this QR code up here for you because I know that you might be watching on your TV. It might be easier that way too. So hopefully that will help if you want to see homes that are available in Choctaw right now. I'll just ask for your email, don't worry. No phone numbers. You don't even have to put your real name in. Whatever. This is a pretty popular neighborhood though, and I know that people in here are very close. You know your neighbors. There's lots of trees. Obviously it's winter, so they don't have any leaves on them. Make a friend with someone who has a pool, unless you want a pool, which I totally get. Of course, you can build a shop out here. A lot of homes already have them. They do have more restrictions on their shops, like you gotta have brick. I believe this road is taken care of by the HOA, not the city. I remember correctly. Everyone out here is also going to be on well water. And I think, I don't know if they're on, it's very strange out here. Sometimes they're on septic, sometimes they're not. It just kind of depends. So we're going to leave this neighborhood and we're going to turn left back on Reno. Okay. This is one of the corners that has a little bit of stuff. Domino's is one of the things. There's also a burrito shop on the end. I know it's hard to see with that dang sun. There's a neighborhood down this road a couple miles called Rustic Oaks, and I have another whole video about that neighborhood just because I've sold a lot of homes in there. They're very beautiful. So check that out. I'll put the link up top for you if you want to see that. Have several homes that are just kind of on the main road, but also like smaller neighborhoods that are nothing like that first one that we went into. A new neighborhood going in right there. So we are, 2 minutes away from our next neighborhood. Part of this is I want to show you the roads too. I don't think expectations sometimes are that the roads are going to be perfect, and they are most definitely not. However, Choctaw does have better roads than many small towns. There are very few gravel or dirt roads left in Choctaw, where in other towns like Blanchard, Newcastle, Bridge Creek, Guthrie, like they're going to have a lot of dirt and gravel roads still. So I want you to be aware of that. Not a ton of restaurants out here either. You will have some, but you're gonna have to drive a little bit. This is more of kind of the old town of Choctaw. I'm going to show you where like the newer shopping stuff is here at the very end, just so that you understand that you're going to have a place to buy groceries in town. That's what you want. So we're going into Porch Paradise. This is a newer neighborhood, and these homes are going to be a lot of custom homes. They're mostly on a half-acre to an acre. And shops are probably going to be allowed in here. I don't think I've been in here very much, but it's really odd for them not to be allowed. You can still see some lots that are available. This is a very tiny little neighborhood. And I don't know how much they're gonna kind of build or like make it bigger because I'm not sure how much land the developer owns in here. One thing that flew over a while ago was one of the planes. So it's my understanding, and I've never been in the military, but it's my understanding, of course, that AWACS is sort of, we're the air depot for the AWACS planes. And they're big planes. They are manned by international crews. I had a professor in college who was one of the pilots, actually, and they fly over all the time. And yeah, they're loud, and people comment about it. But you have to understand that here in Oklahoma, we are aerospace. So that's one of our largest industries. So it's how we make money as a state. And the Department of Defense is actually the... You're good. Oh, no, wait. Stop. There's a van. Okay, now you're good. The Department of Defense is the largest employer here in Oklahoma. Tinker being the largest single site employer in all of Oklahoma. Just a few like little local businesses around here. So the next neighborhood that we're going into is actually a brand new neighborhood. They're still building homes in here. And these are on city lots, technically. They're on pretty big city lots because the city lot in Choctaw is different than the city lot like in Norman or Edmond or Oklahoma City. This is an ideal home neighborhood. So it is a one builder neighborhood. The minimum is going to be 1,600 square feet. Maximum is 2,700 square feet. And these are starting, should be starting around $325,000. Yeah. They're starting right now at $325,000. It doesn't mean that's going to be forever. Just means that's what it is right now. So usually with Ideal Homes, this is a local builder. And we actually live, me and my husband, we live in one of these homes just in Norman. And you got to have a fence in these neighborhoods. They have specific floor plans that they will build. You're not allowed to have the same looking house next to one another. Things like that. There's a few 2-story homes in here.
No shop.
Yeah, no shops in here. You can have like a little shed, but no shops. Once again, windy roads to make people drive slowly. That is the goal.
New roof.
Yep. New roof. Little ponds over there. So some of these have like modern fronts. Some of them are like cottage style. And like I said, they're still building in here. We really like our home. It's really beautiful. And like you can build technically like a custom home and pick out colors and like floors and things like that, and pick which plan you want to build and which lot you want. That's what we did for our house. And it's an easier process with Ideal Homes because they're like a production builder versus like a custom builder, if that makes sense. There's another pond over here. People are always fishing in our neighborhood in our ponds because they do stock the ponds. You are going to have an HOA in here. And these people still have green grass. Good God. These mostly, I think these are other builders because Ideal just got like one of the sections in here. So there is a second builder in here. Excuse me for what I said earlier. But there are 3-car garages on a lot of these homes as well. This is Timber Ridge Point. So next, we're going to leave the neighborhood and go right on Hiawassee, which is one of the main streets, also through Choctaw. We're about to turn on Reno now, which we've been on before. Like I said, we're kind of going in a bit of a zigzag just to show you as much as possible. We're headed to the park next. 10 Acre Lake Park is, I believe, the biggest park here in Choctaw. There's, not very many. And it's next to their, athletic center. And, yeah. I wanted to mention schools to you. So, Choctaw Public Schools, they do have a school system. And with that, there are 2 elementary schools. Indian Meridian, yes, and James Griffith, and then you have the middle school, Choctaw, and then the high school, Choctaw. Not everyone in Choctaw goes to those schools, but most do, and to my understanding, they are very highly rated schools, but it's always dependent, of course, on what you and your family need, and of course, here in Oklahoma, there are different sort of rules around school districts. So look those up and definitely see what you think. So on my left are a bunch of not little houses. They're newer houses. They're all built in this century, and they're just off the road. So there's no HOA, things like that. They're all on an acre or 2, I believe. I did sell one of those houses a long time ago. So now we're at Henny Road, so Reno and Henny. I hear an AWACS. You can see their road is a little funky right there. Okay, now we're going down 10 to get to the park. It's going to be up here on my left. Now, one of the things with Choctaw is just outside of it to the east is a turnpike. Turnpike, of course, is a toll road, so we'll call them here. And it is called 335 is the number for it. And it is, so it's a bypass for I-35 around Oklahoma City. And it's called the Kickapoo, is what we call it. The Kickapoo is a indigenous tribe here in Oklahoma. We love driving the Kickapoo. I will tell you that people in Choctaw fought hard against that turnpike. And I understand why. And it means we don't have to drive through the city, which is often nice. So this is 10 Acre Lake Park. There is a 1-mile trail for people to walk around the lake. The road. It's a pretty nice little lake. And it's nice that there's some trees because it cuts the wind. We do have a lot of wind. Today it's a bit cold. What is the temperature? 35 degrees right now. So that's where the trail is, right in front of us.
Yeah, I still gotta go that way anyway.
Oh, you do?
I both could have won the point.
Oh, I see. Well, good. Right. There are a few like older neighborhoods right through here. Older meaning like 80s, 90s, some 70s. Understand that not very many people lived here in the 70s.
Here's a high school.
Yeah, it's really nice. But high school's so nice.
Better than anything I.
It's better than high school I went to. Fancy. So remember I said I am a real estate agent, and I am here to help you if you're looking to move to Choctaw or somewhere else near, especially like Tinker Air Force Base, etc. I'm going to put my QR code here again, but remember I have that link for you to look at homes that are available in Choctaw. But of course, contact me because I'd love to help you if I can. We are still on 10. You can see some homes here. They're not in neighborhoods. There's also an AWACS coming into land, but you probably have to zoom in to see it. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Little 70s homes in here. Some of them have been redone. Some of them are in not so great condition. Brand new homes. We're going into a Tabor Homes neighborhood next. So there are quite a few builders out here at Choctaw just because there is a lot of land available. There's another one, Home Creations, that we didn't go into, but we did pass it. These are also on regular city lots here in Westfall. Tabor is another local builder. There are some like national builders that build out here, but to be honest, I really like local builders because, you know, they live here and they have some accountability with that. So there are, as you can see, lots available in this neighborhood. I really love Tabor homes. They're really beautiful homes, and they're built very well. Or that's what my inspector says, at least. So these do have mostly 3-car garages. Some of them are 2. And it's kind of the same as Ideal Homes. You can pick a floor plan to build, make your selections, and it's a pretty easy process. I have done it with a few clients. I like the color of that house. It's nice. And like I said, normal city lots, no shops or anything like that. But these are brand new houses. So Tabor is a local builder. Ideal Homes is local. Home Creations is local. And then there's a bunch of others like SWM in Choctaw here. He has built like, I don't know, it feels like 99% of the homes. It's not that many, but he's been building houses for like 30 years. So he's another one that's really popular. I have met him. He's nice, very like honest human being. And here on my left is the Westfall Elementary School. And that's what I was trying to say when I said Indian Meridian. So this is some more of like Old Town Choctaw. I believe I've been to that Mexican restaurant before. They have like dental offices, physical therapy. Yeah. So we're coming up on 23rd Street. Now, if you look on a map, 23rd Street goes all the way through Oklahoma City. And you can absolutely drive all the way down it and get into Oklahoma City. It's a pretty popular district there. There's a railroad tracks here. We're about to turn right. When we come back, I'll show you a little bit more of this like little shopping district here. When we've got a CVS right in front of us. Then there's the Sonic. There's some their little decorations of like the land run and stuff. And then like a Boomerang and diner over here. Subway, Pizza Hut. Of course, the Shell, the McDonald's. There's some more behind me too, but I'm going to show you that here in a second. They do have a Caboose here on the right somewhere too, but it's closer into Walmart. The tag agency's on my left. So this is Clark and 23rd. They have the Veterans Memorial here on the left as well. We're going just to another little neighborhood just to show you. 23rd is the furthest north that we're going to go in Choctaw. And there's a bit more, but most of Choctaw is going to sit south of 23rd Street. There is a bit more, but I opted not to cover that in this video. But it looks very similar, so don't worry. Some houses here on our right. A few more little businesses. So there's a florist local and some more little houses. A couple of banks, of course. Kind of out rather lonesome. There are some doctor's offices. A lot of them are going to be primary care. So like I said, there are homes with septic systems out here and homes with a well. It kind of depends on where you are and what's available in terms of public utility. Choctaw's a bit interesting when it comes to that because of how fast it's grown. So we're just turning into a little neighborhood here just to show you, because we've driven by a lot of these homes and I wanted to show you like what a little street looks like. These are going to be on like a little more than a 1/4 acre, maybe even a 1/2 acre, just depending. No HOA in this type of neighborhood.
As he used to go away.
Yeah, as you can see. Restrictions are very minimal, but it's kind of hidden off the road and people like that. Mostly 2-car garages. You can put up a carport if you want to. It's usually not a big deal. Like, you don't have to pull permits typically for that kind of thing. Yes, you can park. You don't have to park in your garage. You can put a shed out back. A lot of these people have them. They can be metal. Basically, what I'm trying to point out is that there is a neighborhood, or not a neighborhood, for everyone out here. Lots of different types of homes. You can get $1 million house. You can get a $225,000 house. Like, it's honestly what works for you. And understand that not a ton of people live here, only about 13,000. So sometimes you do have to wait a second for the right house to come up. I can tell a lot of these were built by the same builder, but of course it was like back in 70s and 80s. So they all look a bit different now, but yeah. Some of them have brand new windows in them. Some of them do not. Some still have the aluminum. So now we're going to turn back on 23rd Street and show you the little shopping district a little bit closer. And make sure you know where you can get some groceries. 23rd is going to be like one of the main parts here in Choctaw. And so we're just driving in closer to where people shop. And there didn't used to be anything out here. And so things are moving quite quickly, just because it's a pretty great place to live if you just need to drive into the city every day. The city meaning Oklahoma City, or of course if you need to go to Tinker. So we're going to backtracking on some of that stuff that we already saw. On my right, like, are some more little neighborhoods, soccer fields. And in front of us here, the shopping district, and then of course the railroad on the left. In Oklahoma, the railroad all used to be passenger, and somehow that's not true anymore. So it's all freight. But that's how a lot of these little towns came into being. And you can see how they're all connected by the railroad. And how, like, little spots came about. And of course, they need water too. All right, so we've got the McDonald's, the Shell, the Subway, car wash. There are some multi-unit housing down here. There's more dentist offices. My town is all going to be kind of to my right. There's a few more things down there.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, go down to Starbucks. There's, of course, a Brahms down here. Brahms is really popular here in Oklahoma. If you haven't been to it yet, then you'll have to visit whenever you come. It's local and has food and ice cream. And it's very inexpensive, which is our favorite part. There's a Mazio's down here, and of course the AutoZone. There's a Chase branch here on my right. The post office is to my right down a little bit. You got another Dollar Tree. There's a gym down here. Like, you've got everything you need. Taco Bell, Wendy's, some more doctors, Arby's, the Starbucks, which I was like freaking shocked whenever Choctaw got a Starbucks, but they did. And then back behind here, of course, you have the Walmart. Walmart is going to be where a lot of people get their groceries, but you can also get groceries at Brahms, a few of them. And then you have a couple of hotels back here. And yeah, I mean, kind of everything you need. I hope that was helpful. Remember, I have that link for you, and I will see you next time.